The BVI National Parks Trust and Kew, the Royal Botanic Gardens, held a workshop on June 8th highlighting tropical important plant areas, also known as TIPAs. The primary aim of the workshop was to introduce the concept of TIPAs, identify data sources and data gaps for plant species and habitats which are locally or regionally threatened, and agree on an implementation plan for the identification of TIPAs within the BVI.
We are here to learn about, to offer our learned, passionate suggestions, and to make whatever contribution we can that is meaningful and informed about our tropically important plant areas in the Virgin Islands. Your numerous voices will be joined with ours in the National Parks Trust of the Virgin Islands. As we think about, as we learn about, as we value, as we celebrate, and we find ways to protect those endemic and native plant species that are distinct to our little special corner of this planet.
The two-day workshop was attended by partners of the National Parks Trust and representatives from several agencies including the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Puerto Rico Department of Natural and Environmental Resources, the University of Puerto Rico Mayagüez Herbarium, the Royal Botanic Gardens Kew, and Royal Society for the Protection of Birds from the UK. Head of Conservation Science Kew, Dr. Colin Clubb, explained the criteria for the selection of important plant areas.
Can we identify the most important places for wild plants in this archipelago? And there are international criteria. We'll be exploring those. It's based around three key criteria. The presence of threatened plants. What plants do we know that are, under urgent threat of potential extinction? So there's a series of criteria, of things around there which we'll be exploring. It also recognizes there's a criteria around botanical richness. Which areas have the greatest and the most diverse and the most representative of plant richness, of botanical richness? I hope this is already promoting in your brains. You're thinking, Gorda Peak. We were talking, Mrs. Gardner, earlier on. That immediately comes down, botanical richness. The third criterion is threatened habitats. What habitats are threatened locally and perhaps regionally?
And Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Labor, Ronald Smith Berkeley, noted that the project builds on the close to 20-year partnership between Kew and the BVI National Parks Trust, and said that information provided has aided in making the case for protection of several areas in the BVI.